Alright, what's up guys? Sorry for today's video. It's going to be a little janky because I'm holding the GoPro instead of having it in a mount. But as you can see, we got some stuff going on here. We got the bike, we got battery, the stock battery, we have what appears to be a second battery, Amazon package, chargers, zip ties, voltmeter, and wire snippers. But first off, we're gonna get into it. With this bike and this bike specifically, Amyet used to have the controller up under the seat on some of their other models, but with this one, the controller comes inside this little box right here. So I need to make sure I have the tool right here. Not sure if you guys can see in there, but these are little Phillips heads. There's 6 of them, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. I already loosened them last night, so just got to go through and take this off.
I would use a screwdriver, but the frame right here and right here hit the screwdriver that I have perfectly. Hence why you saw it on the ratchet wrench, because breaking them loose was way easier with that than trying to finagle and thread out, cross-thread my screws. Definitely don't want to fuck these screws up, because this is what keeps your controller kind of water sealed. Not entirely, because there's a hole at the bottom where the wires come out, but you don't want water getting in up top either. So the YouTube videos that I've watched where people install secondary batteries onto their bike, at least for the Amyet, have been where the controller is under the seat. And so with the controller being in the rail of where the stock battery sits, I'm going to have to expose the wires that run. Let's see.
Voila, that is my controller. This bad boy right here. So, mainly need this plug. I can't really take it all the way out because of the wires down here. Right. But, I'm gonna show you real quick. This is the controller. It is a 20 amp controller with +1. Yeah, it's 48 volt. That's the gearing, I guess. The limited 22 amps. Under voltage, software version. Yeah. Basically, we're just gonna need this plug right here. Just set it back up there for a second. Just unplug this real quick. Alright, so this end goes directly into the controller, and this end goes in for the battery side, okay? This is a battery pack balancer discharger, or battery blender, or splicer, whatever. This is a DB6030. This one is rated for 30 amps because my bike runs 22. It can blow a 20 amp one, so we got 30 amps to ensure that it doesn't blow. With these ones, you have 2 males and you have 1 female. On this, if the camera says we'll pick them up, you got out, you have calm, you have 2 ends, right? So the 2 ends are batteries, and the only out is the one that goes to the controller. So, in theory, if I connected it right here, this end goes to the battery, right? So we would want that one there, okay? And then we want this one that goes to the controller of the bike, right? Because that's in the controller, we plug that in. And then we would take our secondary battery and plug it in right here. But I gotta figure out how to mount all of these wires. So, with that out of the way, okay, let's fit this real quick. Yes, okay, so this still kind of slips on, fits good. I already know my stock battery works. So what we're going to do real quickly, we're going to take our voltmeter, it's already on, and we're going to test the negative and the positive side of this battery, and then we're going to take this one, we're going to test the positive and negative side of this battery to make sure that the voltage is in close relation, right? Stick it in here. Okay, so we're at 54.1 on our new green battery. Okay, this one, I don't know why it's being finicky. Positive and negative. There we go, 54.1. Okay, so with the battery blender, it says that you only want 0.1 voltage off, as we just read. This is 54.1. This is 54.1. So we're gonna take this bad boy. For now, I'm going to set them down right here, okay? And then I'm going to take this one and plug it into there. And I don't know if you guys can see, but there's a flat top and a curved top. Flat top and a curved top. These are technically foolproof. You cannot fuck these up. You shouldn't be able to fuck these up. If you fuck these up, you should get a gold star and maybe a medal. Alright, so we're going to plug that in. Expose this just to make sure everything else is plugged in. So technically, the bike should be able to turn on right now. We have the back tire up in the air already. Ha ha ha. And we have power. We have power with just the new battery. Alright, let's check and see if it'll read our voltage. 53.7 voltage. Go up 5, let's hit the throttle. Goes off. Okay, well, that sounds promising, so we're going to shut the bike back off. Okay, so with that back off, I'm going to disconnect our new battery, hold the power button, make sure that it is fully de-energized. Okay, set that aside for now. So now that we know that this end works, now I gotta slide the battery on and make sure that the stock battery still works. So I'm just gonna slide this cover plate on. Slide that sucker in. That is on already. So, hit power. And we got power, which is good. 53.8 watts. Go up in modes. Hell yeah. Sounding good. So, flip the power off on this bike and take the battery out. Alright. Well, so now that I know that everything works, we're gonna currently put all the screws back in now. I think that's a good angle for you guys. Okay, so that's on there pretty well. So now I gotta figure out how to mount this in like this position, so it's upwards, and then figure out how and where I'm gonna mount my other battery. So this is how it sits. Okay, there's this space, which I've been thinking about possibly seeing if I can get this thing to, but I kind of figured it was too big. Okay, so if I have it sitting under the seat, roughly in this vicinity, that might actually be able to come over here and reach. So okay, we're just not gonna catch any of them today, apparently. Yep, that one rolled right down my wrist. And then voila, the seat is off. Okay. So we have zip ties here. So we got this mounted up. Sorry. I'm gonna have to unplug this and reroute it either down through here, up through here. But we got it up with some zip ties. So what we're gonna do is the green battery's already on. We're gonna flick this one on. Okay. Turn this on. Pray to God I don't burst into flames. We've got power. 53.7, 53.8 volts. We're at 100%. Let's turn this sucker up into mode 5. Moment of truth. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Where's the Kool-Aid man? Fuck, I said that too many times. Alrighty. Well, now that it's all connected, I'm going to disconnect this and reroute it so I can get the wires kind of tucked up nicely. I'm going to figure out how to mount this better than zip ties, because zip ties, I kind of don't like that. I've seen a few people use like toe straps, but I think I'm going to go to work and see if I can build a mounting bracket that can mount perfectly on these brackets. I guess the last thing to test is to ensure that the seat, oh dude, the seat still sits. Seat still sits and we clear it. Can you see that? I don't know if you can. Clear that side. Cleared that side. Hells yeah. I now proud owner of an Amyet G60 dual battery setup. Both 48 volts, still rocking the same stock power. We just now have twice as much range. So I'm gonna clean up all the wiring, kind of hide it, and then charge both the batteries one last time, and then go test out the range on it. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully this wasn't too boring. Hopefully it was somewhat entertaining and knowledgeable for you. Super simple. Mostly everything was plug and play. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Peace. Alright, so just got done with our first ride after our second battery install. This was the original, obviously that's the secondary one. Could have gone longer, but I'm liking how this one's set up currently. We're currently at 53%, 1,198 miles, just under 1,200 miles. We've been riding around in mode 5 for most of it, and we're at 12.7, okay? So this means that the bike would be very close to dead right now. We're at 50 volts, which means this little guy, this little splitter thing, has now either gone back to the other battery or they're both around 50 volts. And when I was on it, it said it was around 48. It just dropped down to 49.9 for a second. I'm not sure if you saw that. We're not pulling any wattage, and the time is 38:10, so roughly 38 minutes. But being on a 12.7 mile ride, that and only being at 54 with this second battery, that's going to be game changer, because I changed the tune on this, right? So if we look at the tune, the P08 is at 100, because that's what I've been leaving it at, because that's the speedometer. But P14, I changed from 10 and I went up to 20, right? Because this is pulling the watts or the current or whatever. It's the measurement of how much electricity it's pulling, and it's 1 through 20 on that controller, because it's a 20 watt controller, or 20 amp controller.
And so when it pulls the power from both the batteries, instead of pulling, you know, either 20 from an individual battery or whatnot, it's now pulling 10 from that battery and 10 from that battery, so the batteries are running cooler. And I'm able to run a higher tune because now with the batteries running cooler, they're not heating up as fast, they're not dissipating charge as fast, they're not being used to their max capacity, so it's just not drawing as much of a current from each individual battery. It's now split it among the two, causing me to be able to run at 20, which is the highest that I've ever ran, because I used to run 15, and the battery's even going up right now. Like, I don't know if you see that, but we're up to 55, so it's probably got a little bit of voltage sag. But for quick summaries, that was our first little test ride. I didn't get a video because I don't have any of my gear on. It's currently, I think it's like 98 to 100 right now, so it's pretty hot. Temperature wise, I mean, this is a black case and it's warm, but it's not as hot as it normally is. Same with this battery. This one, I mean, I don't know what the normal temperature of this is, but it feels pretty, you know, normal ambient temperature outside and being in the sun a little bit. But yep, that's our ride. I plan on getting some actual footage more than likely tomorrow. There's a ride out tomorrow that I plan on going, and the first one that I went to, my battery died on the bike and the GoPro, so I had to take the train the rest of the way home because the bike couldn't do it. It was completely dead. And so after that, I was like, yep, I'm gonna get a secondary battery so I can increase my mileage. So they're both 48 volts, both of them 48 volts. Both of them are 20 amp hours. And with the combiner that I have, what it does is it combines the amp hours. So instead of 20, it's now 40. So it's a 48 volt, 40 amp hour battery, just two different batteries to equal the 40 amp hours, right? Because we're still keeping the 48 volts. But yeah, hope that was helpful. Hopefully that was informational enough. I can't wait to ride this around more, man. It was maintaining top speed way better, and it was just, it's amazing. I love it. So catch you in the next one. Peace.
I'm